Hallo YouTube, hallo Welt, ich bin der Sensemann und ich heiße euch ganz recht herzlich willkommen zu The Stanley Parable mit Facecam. Ja, was haben wir heute vor?
How wonderful. Stanley was alone. Finally. This is great, he thought to himself. This is what I've wanted all along. I got what I wanted. When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Nein. So, ich möchte heute gerne...
Yes, this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Das könnt ihr vergessen, Leute.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
So, ich möchte nämlich jetzt gerne hier ganz runter.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Gut, das hat nicht funktioniert.
All of his co-workers were gone.
Ups.
What could it mean?
Ich wollte eigentlich ganz
Stanley decided to
runter.
go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Ach, Kacke. Shit, ich dachte eigentlich, ich komme da runter. Irgendwie ist das ein...
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Nee, ich wollte
The
auch...
lounge was sublime, a work of art. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Ich wollte auch an dieser Stelle mal den lieben...
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Weil da unten geht's weiter. Ich habe nämlich gerade eben eine Tür gesehen.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley.
Danke.
Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Gut, das war jetzt schon das zweite Mal, dass ich mich umgebracht habe. Nee, ich wollte gerne
Already
den...
this was uncomfortable, and Stanley decided that as soon as he found a new space he felt safe in, that he would never leave it again in his life. When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Ich glaube, ich möchte jetzt
Standing now in this incredible room, Stanley but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Nein, ich möchte gerne den...
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Wie komme ich denn da runter? Seht ihr, da muss ich ja irgendwie hinkommen.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else is difficult, but in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death.
Zum
Good
dritten
job,
Mal.
Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Zum dritten Mal. Mann! Ja gut, machen wir es
All of
anders.
his co-workers were gone.
What could it mean?
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Ich gehe aber immer noch nicht da lang, mein Lieber. Nein, vergiss es. Ich möchte erstmal links alles
Stanley came
abchecken.
to a set of two open doors. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well.
Ja.
Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Nein, danke.
Stanley felt lightheaded, butterflies in his stomach, giddy in a way he had never known before. Was it this room? A connection between the two? Could a man love a room? I mean, truly, deeply, madly love. Yes, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Ja, bevor ich jetzt wieder hier den Trigger auslöse, ich grüße den Tom und Terry und den lieben Cicero-Shows. Ich habe ja mit beiden in letzter Zeit relativ viel Kontakt gehabt. Was heißt relativ viel? Ich habe mich einmal mit ihnen unterhalten. Und ja, ich grüße euch und ich hoffe, es geht euch gut, ihr Kleinen.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
So, jetzt mache ich nichts.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Whoa!
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
Hallo?
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Whoa.
Gotcha. Oh, come on.
Whoa.
Did you actually think you had a loving wife? They
Yeah.
want to commit their life to you. I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here. This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley. But in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures.
Nur zur
From
Info,
behind his
Leute.
desk,
Gleich wird mein
Stanley
Greenscreen
dreamed of
Spiel.
wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
Ernsthaft?
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
Drücke B. Ah, ich habe auch noch
So
Kinder.
he went further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold. As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
Ach nee, das ist eine Null. Eine Null.
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time. But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one. And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. but he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Okay. Ich fühle mich von dem Spiel leicht verarscht. Das war mein Handy. Ja. Ja, komm.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself? I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button.
Was?
And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button.
Bitte stirb.
And I
Was? Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Bin jetzt aber nicht hier. Oh. Ja, okay, Leute. Ich würde sagen, wir sehen uns im nächsten Part wieder und finden mal heraus, was es hier was es mit diesem Raum jetzt hier zu tun hat. In diesem Sinne sage ich, haut rein. Tschüss.